Hello, Bella Stylistas. I'm so happy to be here today. And the reason why I'm here today is because I'm going to be interviewing the Ruth Carter ahead of the up and coming sequel to Coming to America, that's Coming to America, which is going to be released in Nigeria and South Africa on the 5th of March. Now, Ruth Carter is a costume designer and the 2019 Academy Award winner for the achievement in costume design for Marvel's Black Panther, and she made history as the first African American to win in that category. She's also behind the beautiful costumes in the movie that's going to premiere on the 5th of March. Ruth Carter wows audiences and dazzles critics alike with her costumes, which are usually inspired by traditional African tribal wear, merged into a contemporary look, delivering fashion and function. She also incorporates technology, creating authenticity, ownership, and empowerment for the characters and viewers, all of which has cemented her as one of the prominent voices and experts on Afro aesthetics. She was also recently awarded her own plaque, her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She's the second costume designer and the first Black costume designer to be honored with that star. And we're going to be interviewing her today ahead of Coming to America. So I'm really excited. And I can't wait to speak to her about this new movie, delve into her breadth of knowledge in African American history and art, and learn more about her brilliant, bold, urban dandy costume design work. So guys, stay tuned as I will be joined by Ruth Carter shortly, and we'll have an interesting in-depth conversation.
You go, wow, the time has gone. And then you have a star. And so the star feels like you did it, girl. This has been years of hard work. And here, we're going to give you a star.
A huge congratulations. You look so good. You look so good. I love the Ankara blazer. Is it a blazer?
Thank you. I like your dress too. It's wonderful.
So much. It's Edoro. It's a Nigerian fabric.
Ooh, Edoro.
Edoro.
Wow.
Thank you. Let's delve right into Coming to America. I know you're super busy. I've seen it, and oh my God, I was blown away by the costumes. Everybody looked so beautiful, especially the royal family. They looked really amazing. I want to know, what was your thought process when you were joining this project? When you received the offer, what was your thought process?
I had to create an aesthetic that I felt was not only rooted in African artistry, but also very contemporary. I wanted it to feel like contemporary Africa. I felt very strongly that so many people still had this, old-fashioned idea about the continent and the cities and if this is an opportunity to show how they live in Africa and how the royalty is portrayed, I wanted to make sure that I had things like, there's a royal cloth, because I remember how kente is used for special occasions. So I had to, and this was a comedy, so I could make things up and use those concepts. So we came up with a royal print that Akeem wears a lot. We see it on the front of his velvet. We see it on his tunic. We see it in his red silk jacket, so that there was something that would be the language of Zamunda, and also the majesty of color, using color and using all different stylings. I mean, when you see the big parties and the big funerals, there's styling that's happening with color and texture and fabrics. And we saw that in the first one, but I didn't want to be a carbon copy of the first one. I did want to move the needle forward because it was 30 years later.
Yes, I mean, speaking about the first one and this sequel, as well as the changes of the characters, the changes of the actors and the actresses, what were some design elements that differed or that changed significantly in terms of the fabrics? You spoke of silk, you spoke of the velvet fabrics you used. What were some of those design elements that you put in place to show us that these characters have evolved?
Yes, well, we got to create the staff costumes for the royal palace. And I went to South Africa, to Laduma Maxcosa, and we used his beautiful knits. He made long tunics because, I wanted to stay true to West Africa, which was a bit of the feeling of the first movie. You got a sense that it wasn't necessarily South Africa,
Yes.
but I did want to include the Indebele because I felt like it was a great way, a beautiful pattern that would be uniform, and I could use it like a uniform in this with the staff. And whenever we saw those graphics, we knew that this was connected. There was a connectivity to it, and I couldn't do that with really any other Ankara fabrics. I could mix them, but I decided that was the best way to go. And Laduma was very generous in creating all of those pieces that I mixed in. That was one. The other thing that we felt like strongly that we had to do differently was to be cruelty-free. And knowing that, the first movie had the lion on the shoulder, and everybody's still dressed, when they do Coming to America, somebody's going to walk in with a big lion on their shoulder. And I just felt like, okay, now we are more contemporary, and McDonald's is offering a vegan burger,
And
then we have to be, yes, and then we have to be cruelty free, and we 3D printed the beautiful lion on the shoulder and gave him a mane that was an embroidered scarf. And so in doing that, I felt like, we were showing that the mindset is much more contemporary than it was back then. And so those were two areas that really worked for me as far as moving the needle forward.
Yeah, I did notice a lot of that. I noticed, like, because I half expected the lion, because it's so typical to use for Zamunda. Speaking of more specific, you spoke of Ankara, Kente. When you were creating the mood boards, were there any specific cultures or African traditions and specific places that inspired you? And were there any also historical cultural fashion or beauty moments that you referenced in the movie?
Yes, I used the inspiration from the haircuts. There are these Senegalese dandies that cut their hair in these asymmetrical ways. And these were ancient etchings from, I don't know, long ago. And I just thought they were so regal. So I turned them into hats. I had them made into hats, and I put a gold device in the front so they would feel a little bit more militaristic. Yes. And, we made a couple of dozen of them, and we used them a lot throughout the film so that there was this shape that you had never really seen before anywhere but in Zamunda, that would honor their traditions and also be contemporary. Contemporary was the overarching theme with using that idea. And I think that the use of Ankara fabric in Coming to America, the first film, was signature to the film. And I couldn't use that much Ankara in Black Panther, and I just dived into Ankara for Coming to America too, because it does tell you right away that this is Africa. Yes. And so I made lots of dresses with Ankara combinations. And also, I think like some of the symbols and the Benin mask that we used, like the Tuareg crosses that were used in the first one, we kept that going. And sometimes they were gigantic, and then other times they were subtle. So that was one or a few of the things that I felt connected directly to cultural influences.
I definitely feel like the movie is going to create so many trends, and people are going to be running to their tailors, especially here in Nigeria. We love our Ankara. We love our Ankara pieces. People are going to be running to their tailors like, I want this dress. I want it just like this. And I really enjoyed how Ankara was used and how it made the women look curvy. They look beautiful. It brought out their natural beauty. I really, really loved it. And I must say, good job. It was
Yes.
really, really a stunning visual masterpiece. To round up, I would really just like to
Thank
talk
you.
about your exhibition, the Afrofuturism in Costume Design, which is truly remarkable, and it features your best work from 4 decades in the industry. Wow.
Yes.
I would like to know, why is this exhibition important to you in reference to spotlighting African fashion and design talents?
Yes, well, my exhibition is about the future, and it's about how I envisioned Afrofuture throughout my career and how I interpreted how others envisioned the future through their clothing. And it starts with my childhood sewing machine, and it goes all the way through Black Panther. And we are blessed to know to be able to put Coming to America in the exhibition now as well. And I now have something that I can present to the world, to young people who were like me, who had a dream, who wanted to be an artist. But I know that the exhibition influences all kinds of things in people. Just to have a voice, to trust their voice, to understand how you can be an artist and make a living and reach the top and win awards and influence minds and have fun. So the exhibition is important to me because it inspires, and it lets people know that we're always thinking about Afrofuturism. And I did it through costume design, and it shows you all the ways that happened. You have fun. You see the goldfish shoes that were worn in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. You see a leather jacket that was worn in Shaft. You get Dolomite Is My Name. You get the Black Panther. And there isn't another costume exhibition that really travels through Black history the way this one does. And so it's super important to me to share that with the world.
Thank you so, so much for talking with me, Ruth Carter. This has been such an inspiring and interesting conversation. I really enjoyed Black Panther. I really enjoyed Coming to America. And yeah, I can't wait for everybody else to see it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm excited too. Okay, enjoy.
Thank you, Mary.